Can I call you back? I'm filming.
No. It's really pretty. It's kind of like making me sad about myself for a time.
I'm all shimmery.
I know, you look very bronze goddess.
Bronze goddess. Like 10 minutes. Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing more of a glowy spring summer look just to kind of keep the warmth in the air because it's not quite warm yet, but it's kind of trying to get there. So if that's something you're interested in, keep watching. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start off with my primer. So because we're getting that really nice warm spring summery glow look today, I wanted to go with a primer that was really going to enhance that glow. And one of my personal favorites is the Mercier Foundation Primer Radiance. And this honestly gives like a sheer healthy glow to the skin without making your skin look too shiny, especially if you tend to have more oily skin. So it's really nice because anyone can use it. So a little bit goes a long way, but I'm going to just go ahead, again, little goes a long way, and I just put way too much on my fingers. I'm just going to take a little bit, I'm just going to apply it all over my skin. I also like that it is super light on the skin. I don't feel like it's like a film sitting on top of my face. But at the same time, it's almost, and some people don't like this feeling, it's almost a little bit sticky, but not like real tacky, which I personally like because it makes me feel like my foundation is going to stay on longer. So I personally love that about this primer. So next, I'm going to go ahead and prep my eyes. Now, I don't always, again, like to prime. I don't think it's always necessary, but I am going to prime my eyelids just because they've been a little oilier than normal, and I feel like this has been keeping my eyeshadow on. So I am going to just lightly use an eyeshadow primer. This is Ophthalmologist tested. This is the Pretty Vulgar eyeshadow primer. Let's see if I can get it in there. Sorry, I got my light kind of shining on it. But I actually just recently got this, and I like all their other products too. So after applying my primers, I am going to go ahead in with my foundation. Now, this is actually a tinted day cream, and it's called Active Glow. And I personally love this. I just recently tried it. I am super fair right now, so this is a little bit darker, but I'm going for that more sun-kissed look anyway, and I'm going to bring it down, not my foundation, but I'm going to bring my bronzers down my neck and my shoulder blades, because that's what I would be doing if I were going out for the day and hanging out in the sun. I apply makeup down there as well. So anyway, back to what we were talking about. I am going to be using the QMS Medicosmetics Tinted Day Cream, and I actually got this through my BoxyCharm. I absolutely love BoxyCharm. I've only used this foundation or tinted day cream once, but I loved it. And I was actually on FaceTime with one of my friends, and she saw me apply it, and she thought it looked really, really good. So I'm going to just apply a little bit to my foundation brush, and I'm going to apply it all over. And you're going to notice if you use this, it is a sheer tint, so you're going to want to use a concealer if you have any spots that you're a little bit more self-conscious about or wanting to conceal. And you do need to blend this a little bit more than a foundation because sometimes it can leave a little bit of a streak. But once you blend it, it's honestly just so natural and so nice. And that's kind of what we're going for today. We don't want anything with too much coverage because we want that natural, beautiful glow. And I pull it up on my ears as well. Okay, so now you can see I've applied it all over, and it gives such a dewy, beautiful look. And it is a little bit lighter, so you can see some of my imperfections in terms of coverage, but that's when you go in with your concealers and all that stuff. And honestly, it just sits so light. It feels so good on my skin. and it doesn't feel like I've clogged my pores or anything like that. So now that I've got that applied all over, I'm going to go ahead and go in with my concealer just for the few small parts where I feel I need a little bit more coverage. And I'm going to use, because the spots I do have I feel are pretty dark, which is really mainly around the chin and a little around the nose. I'm going to use the Master Conceal through Maybelline. There you go. And this is in shade 10 Fair. So this is a little bit lighter than what I would go with a sun-kissed look, but that's okay. And I'm just going to go in with the tip and just apply it in those small spots. Because again, I'm not trying to conceal my whole face. I just want it where I feel like I've got some more imperfections. And then I'm going to blend it out with a brush. I know I probably look like a crazy person doing this, but it works. Then I go in with my brush again, and I'm going to go ahead and just blend that out. And I'm going to be using a bronzer later anyway, so if it lightens up some spots, it's totally fine. Another thing that you could do is you could totally apply this before your foundation, which actually would be a better idea if you're going to go darker, and then apply this on top. I didn't even think about it until now. Okay, so the last place I'm going to conceal is right underneath my eyes. And I'm going to take a smaller brush for that. Same concealer though, and again, only a small amount. And I'm just going to lightly conceal the inner parts of my eyes because I tend to get a little bit darker there. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is contouring. So I use a couple different products to contour. The first thing I'm going to use is a cream product. And I like to do that just because I am fair and I like a pretty deep contour for fair skin. So I do go in with the NYX Wonder Stick. This is kind of old actually. I could probably replace it, but if I can get that, there you go. The NYX Wonder Stick. I use that and it's got a highlight on one side and a contour on the other. Honestly, I never use the highlight just because I feel like it's a little dark for me, but I might try it out today. But I go in with that and then I go in with a powder. So I'm going to start off with my cream stick and you can see there's not much left of it. And I'm going to lightly contour down my cheekbones with it. And again, only a little bit because I'm not looking to look way too lifted today. I want to be a little bit more natural. And I literally just pull it down just in the deepest parts of the hollows of my cheeks. Then I'm going to go ahead and go in with my brush and I'm going to blend it. And this is actually a BoxyCharm brush. And these are actually pretty decent. I'm just going to blend it out. See how that just lightly contours there? Because I'm going to go in with a powder after anyway. So I don't want too much. The next place I'm going to contour is my temples. And I'm just going to lightly do that because I have a skinny face. So I don't really need it to suck in much more. But I do like to just do it to add depth. And then I also do down the sides of my nose. And I like to make sure that I am pushing it up into my hairline. I also contour underneath my jawbone or along my jawbone. And the important thing about doing that is you want to contour, keeping your face level at like a natural state. I don't know how to word that because a lot of people will contour and they go like this or they look down, but you don't walk like that all day. So in order to get that natural look, you want to keep your face level. So I just go in and I look down with my eyes and I go in and I apply right along my jawline. And I do pull it up behind my ears. And then it creates that depth and that shadow. If I look up, you can see the line. But that way, if you go up here, you're going to get that obnoxious line of demarcation where you can see the different shades or a dark line along your neck. Then I go in with that brush and I'm just going to blend it out again. Okay, so I've got my cream blended out, and now I'm going to go in with my powder contours. So I'm going to use, a lot of times I use the Tarte Cosmetics Tartiest Pro Glow palette. Oops, knocking stuff over. Which, as you can see, I use a lot. But I actually found one of my older cosmetic contour palettes. And I actually really like this one, so I'm going to bring this one out again. But this is the Cover FX palette, and this is the Perfector face palette. Again, you can see I use it a lot. It's dirty, I'm sorry. But it's got a blush, it's got a highlighter, it's got a bronzer. But I, as you can see, mainly just use the highlighters and the contour. I don't really use the blush, it's a little pink for me. I'm going to go ahead and use the same brush to dip into my powder. And I'm going to contour right where I did before. Okay, so I went ahead and I contoured my face, and now I'm going to go in with a little bit of a lighter concealer. And this is just to make my contour pop a little bit more. And I'm just going to apply that right underneath my contour. And I'm going to be using the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer, maybe. There we go. Instant Age Rewind Concealer. And I'm just going to apply that right underneath my contour just to make it lifted and pop a little bit more. See how it's just going to make that defined line? And then I'm going to blend it out. So the next thing I'm going in with is my bronzer. Now I want a bronzer because I really want to make my skin look sun-kissed. And this is where I am going to apply it on my face, and I'm going to bring it down my neck and onto my chest and shoulders. So what I'm going to use today is my favorite, and you can tell because it is very well used. This is my Physicians Formula bronzer in Light. And it smells like summer in the beach. I mean, it smells so good. And then on the bottom, it normally comes with a little sponge, but I don't use that. So I'm going to take my fluffy brush and I'm going to apply that. I know this is such a basic rule, but the 3 works so good with a heart-shaped face, which is what I have. So I apply it in a 3 going up into my hairline. Go up my cheekbones. Back down, don't forget to hit the ears. Because believe me, it makes such a big difference when you do your ears, because when you tuck your hair behind your ears, you're not going to have like super white ears and then like super bronze face. Bring it down the jawbone. This is when I start to bring it down my neck. So, and I do my whole neck with this, especially when I do have some tanner on, but that just ends up giving me a little something extra. I do go a little bit on my lips and on my nose as well. And then I take it down my chest. Doesn't look like it does too much, but we're not outside. Once you go outside, it makes a big difference. And then don't forget to hit your shoulder bones, or your shoulders, shoulder bones. Okay, so I've applied my bronzer and I look kind of orange, so you might be freaking out. So the next thing you want to do is you want to add back in some of those peachy tones so that way you don't look crazy orange. So I'm going to go in with a pinkish blush, and I'm going to be using Clinique's Sunset Glow, and this is such a pretty blush. It's pink. It'll add more of that sun-kissed look to my skin so I don't look orange, because I am fair, so I don't just want all these orange bronzers all over me. So I'm going to go in with my blush brush, and I know it looks dirty, but I cleaned it 2 days ago. And I'm going to apply it to my cheekbones and kind of around the same areas that I did my bronzer, but I'm going to be a little bit more light-handed with it. Okay, so I added the blush on and I feel a little bit better. I'm not as orange. I got a little more pinky tones back in my skin, but I still feel like I have got that sun-kissed look. So I do want to make the comment that I switched my blush out right after doing this cheek. It was just a little too pink for me. It was like an orangey pink, so it didn't have as much of just the pink. I did switch it again to another Clinique one, if it'll focus. And this is Iced Lotus. So next I'm going to apply my highlighters. So this is very important that you don't go too nuts with it, but I'm going to be using a couple different highlighters today. So the first one I'm going to do, because I do already have a pretty bronzed face, I'm going to stick with a pinkier highlighter, and I'm going back in with that brand I mentioned earlier that I love, Pretty Vulgar. And again, you can see that I use this one quite a bit, but this is the shade Shimmering, or it's the Shimmering Swan highlighter, but this is in Glow Up, which is like by far my favorite. So I am going to go in with my highlighting brush. I don't know, it's like a fluffy brush. Oops. Focus, there we go. Just a fluffier brush. This is through Wet n Wild. I'm going to start with applying it to my cheekbones. And I apply it going up my temple. So you can see how that hits. And then I'm also going to apply it to the tip of my nose. And my Cupid's bow. Okay, so my highlight's done. Now we're gonna move into my favorite part, which is brows. So I'm gonna start out with brushing my eyebrows out. And honestly, I could use a little bit of a trim, but stay-at-home mom life, don't have time for that. Just gotta pluck them here myself. So after I've brushed my brows, I'm gonna go in with my first product, and I use the Stroke a Brow Feathering Pen through Adele. And if you've seen any of my other videos, you know that this is my go-to, because then I can draw on the little hairs in the fronts of my brows that I like to be a little more defined. But this is in shade something taupe. And this is a little bit lighter because I was a blonde, but I go in with a darker pencil anyway, so. This pencil is great for people that want to do more of a detailed eyebrow. Okay, so I've done the first part, which is with my Stroke a Brow pen, which always takes me forever. It takes me so long to do my brows. But I'm then going to go in with my second product, and this is the Ulta Beauty Ultra Slim Brow Pencil, and this is in shade Soft Brown. So brows are done. Now I'm going to go ahead in with a concealer, and I'm going to outline my brows just to give them a little bit more of a defined, crisper look. And I just use the end of my spoolie brush that is meant for drawing on brows to dip my concealer in, and it works. So now my brows are done and I feel so much better. And I'm going to go ahead and go in with my eyeshadow now. So, can you see me like making like my facial expressions with my brows? So the palette I'm going to be doing today, or using today, is through Tart Cosmetics. And I absolutely love Tarte, so I use a lot of their products. This is the Be You Naturally palette, and I love it. Again, one of my favorites. And it's great for that summery glow look. They're all just so gorgeous, so natural, so sun-kissed. So if you haven't watched my BoxyCharm unboxing video yet, I would highly recommend it because these brushes came in it and it's so cute. They've got little confettis in them and I've been obsessed with them. I'm going to take my fluffy eyeshadow brush and I'm going to use my nude shade, which is Earthy. Yep. And I'm going to apply that all over my eyelid. This is just going to create a nice base. So the next shade I'm going to apply is Dusk. And woo! Drop my eyeshadow palette. This one is really pretty. It's more of a neutral shimmery color. And I'm going to apply that right to the crease and above the crease. And I like to pull the shade just under my lash line slightly. I am then going to go in with a slightly darker shade, and this is more of the pinky sun-kissed look, and this is called Crystallized. And it's just got a little bit more of a pink shade. This is the one I did have on. I'm going to go in with this one. And I'm actually going to use a more defined crease brush for this part because I don't want it to go all over the place. For my actual lid, I'm going to go back in with Dusk, and I'm actually going to apply that all over my lid. So now as the final step to my shadow, I'm actually going to go back in with my highlighter through the Pretty Vulgar. And I'm going to go in with a smaller brush. Actually, I'm just going to go back in with my highlighting brush. And I'm going to apply the highlighter to my brow bone just to give it a little oomph. See how that just lifts the brow and gives it that extra shine? I love that. So now that I'm done with my shadow, I'm going to go ahead and curl my lashes with my lash curler. So once I've got my lashes curled, I'm going to go ahead in with my, again, Tarte. I really need to try their brands, but I just love Tarte so much. I'm going to go in. This is the Man Eater Mascara. And not only is it a great mascara, it's through Tarte and it's got a cheetah print little tube. I'm going to go ahead and apply this to my lashes. I poked my eyeball. God, that hurt. So now I'm going in with my false lashes and I'm going to use Little Black Dress through Kiss, and it came in a 4-pack. So I'm going to go ahead and trim those down and apply them. Okay, so I went ahead, I got my lashes on. It took me a little bit, but I'm not really the best at applying lashes. Now I'm going to apply my lipstick, which is one of the last things I'm going to be doing. I am first going to be lining my lips with, it is Beauty Vault, and this is shade Cozy Kira. Okay, so I've got my lips lined. It's a little bit darker than what I wanted, but it's okay. I am next going to go in with the Clinique Dramatically Different lipstick in Pink Spice. It's really nice because it naturally contours the lips and it moisturizes. I like this. So I'm actually starting over. I did not like the color I picked out, so I am going in with Clinique's lip liner in Lip Blush. The other one was a little bit too dark for more of a natural look, so I am going to line my lips with this. So I do apologize, my camera died and now my lighting's kind of funky because the sun's coming in from the other direction because the sun's setting. But we're gonna go ahead and get back to it anyway. I am going to now apply my lipstick now that my lip liner is on. I'm going to use the NARS Tonka Matte Lipstick and it's gorgeous. It's like a blushy, if I can get it for you, blushy nude. So I've got my nude lipstick on. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to apply my lip gloss because I still want to continue that really nice, moist, hydrated, glowing look. So I am going in with the Hyaluronic Lip Plumper Lip Maximizer through Dior. And this is Dior Addict Lip I cannot talk today. Lip Maximizer in 02. I don't know if this is going to concentrate enough. You probably can't see that, but I am going to apply this all over my lips. And this really does plump my lips. I mean, it feels so good. Looks gorgeous. I'm in love with it. Okay, so my face is done. So the last thing I want to show you real quick is this Creme de la Glow, and this is through Galactic, and it's a body bronzer. I'm going to apply a little bit to my brush, and I do have to stand, but I'm going to apply a little bit to my collarbone, and you'll be able to see it just adds a nice glow to your collarbone. And then I also, ignore my ugly tank top, like to apply it to my shoulder blades. It just adds a nice healthy glow. That's all I do for my bronzy summer look. So that's all I have for this video. If you like this video, please, please, please hit subscribe, like this video, and if you have any comments, make sure to comment below. And if you have any other suggestions for videos, please let me know. I do very much appreciate all of the feedback that you could give me. Other than that, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.